Howdy, this is Mike. I live in East Tennessee. I have a little YouTube channel. It's about the only YouTube channel in Tennessee that's not a sports channel. But I thought I would just do a little thing here before the big football game. Just handicap the game a little bit. And I thought I'd start off by naming two of my favorite Ohio State players and two of my favorite Tennessee players of all time. And then I'll just give you a little prediction of why I think the Vols will win the game. One of my all-time favorite football players has got to be Randy Gradishar, linebacker, great at Ohio State, went on to play for the Denver Broncos, and only this past year was introduced into the NFL Hall of Fame. Frankly, he deserved to be in there much, much sooner than he was. He's a great member of the community in Denver. I became aware of him when I took a ski trip to Denver at the end of 1977, and it was the Denver's first time to win the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. And I watched them play that year, rooted for them because I'd spent some time in Denver, and really was taken by the way he played. He was an incredible player. He had over 2,000 tackles in his NFL career. He wasn't a hard hitter, but he always got to the point of attack. He was a wrap-up tackler. And in the era where most NFL teams ran the ball about 75% of the time, having a guy who was just a total run stopper was huge. Denver had a pretty good secondary, so if you forced the other team to throw, you were in good shape. So really loved Randy Gradishar and was really, really happy to finally see him get into the Hall of Fame. Tim Spencer. Now here's another name that goes back to the era when people wore knee pads. Tim was a really good running back, very tough runner in between the tackles, played at Ohio State, and went on to have a successful NFL career. But his first stop in pro football was in Memphis, Tennessee, where he played for the Memphis Showboats. And I remember playing him and always enjoyed watching him run with the ball. He was a teammate there of a Tennessee great, Reggie White. Now, Reggie was an All-American at Tennessee. Obviously, he went on to play for the Eagles and the Packers and became an NFL Hall of Famer. His nickname was the Minister of Defense. And if you'll notice there, playing for the Showboats, those uniforms were very similar to the Ohio State uniforms. So that's what Reggie would have looked like if he had gone to Ohio State. Now, wide receiver Larry Severs makes my list for my top two Tennessee players. Larry played in the 70s. That's him there on the left. He was a great wide receiver. He made the Playboy All-American team and several other All-American teams. I was at this game in Memphis playing against Memphis State when he got flipped through the air. He was known for really jumping and leaping for passes, and on this occasion he caught one in the middle and got spun around. I think that was a 720, not a 360. And he still came down with the ball, so he made my list for that play alone. My other Vol in this very short list is linebacker Al Wilson. He also, like Randy, went on to play for the Denver Broncos. He was a middle linebacker, whereas Randy was sort of a dominating player by his consistency. Al Wilson was a headbanger. He would he was a hard-hitting linebacker. He would take your head off. So he's on my list. Now I'll start my fearless handicap of the game looking at the two quarterbacks. Of course, Ohio State is Will Howard, good quarterback. Probably was actually better at the beginning of the year when his line was healthy. Every now and then throws an INT, but he's a solid player. Tennessee, on the other hand, the quarterback is Nico, who was the lead singer of the Velvet Underground, and sometimes inconsistent, but on the whole, Nico can be very entertaining to watch. So, calling this one even. That brings us to the mascots. This is pretty obvious. I think Smokey has a clear advantage here. Although I have to tell you, when I was looking for images, I really did kind of fall in love with the original Brutus. I wish they'd go back to that, actually, but I'm going to give Smokey the edge. I think Tennessee really dropped the ball for not having Dylan Sampson have a good Heisman campaign this year. He's really been overlooked by a lot of All-American teams and by the Heisman Committee. He's a terrific player. I think he would, amongst all the skill players in this game, probably be the most impactful player. But I really think Tennessee's defense is the key to the game. They will have to get pressure on Howard. If they do, I think the Vols can win this. If they don't, then it's basketball season. So that's my quick little rundown of the game. Looking forward to it. Hope everyone enjoys it. Like and subscribe to the channel. We don't usually do sports, obviously, but we do a lot of stuff around the Smoky Mountains. Have fun with the channel. And at least it's not AI.